We are going to share with you this morning just some of the ways that you can do HR differently. We're going to talk about perhaps why it needs to be done differently, and we're going to give you loads of practical examples that you can take away. We work with organizations in every sector, in every geography, and all of them need the big four. More collaboration, more agility, more innovation, and more productivity. So much of what we're doing today in HR, in my personal view, and I know from many HR people that we work with, it's not enough. It's not creating the environment and the conditions where our people can thrive and survive in a disrupted world. So much is now beginning to change. Leaders are asking more and really kind of pushing HR more. HR professionals themselves are saying, you know what, this can't work anymore. We want to try some stuff out. We want to pilot and experiment. So what does this new model look like? It's called the EACH model. Employees as adults, consumers, and human beings. So as we move on to the first one, the adult, we have an incredibly parental environment in our workplaces. Incredibly parental. We're not creating the right conditions whilst we parent. So what does adult to adult look like? Well, it's a change to rules and policies. Instead of trying to legislate for every eventuality, it's about taking an approach which is encouraging people to use their judgment, because the vast majority of people are capable of using their judgment. Let's move on to the next one, consumer. So, do you know the expression, employees are our greatest assets? What a horrible expression that is. Employees are our greatest assets. Assets are cars and buildings and desks and computer equipment. We deal with human beings. Messy, mercurial, wonderful, frustrating, beautiful, all different human beings. So why have we made a virtue in HR of one size fits all? Why are we proud that we have a performance management system that is universal, treating our employees like some big homogeneous lump? If you think about what consumer organizations are trying to do, they're trying to change perceptions, they're trying to change behavior, they're trying to increase brand loyalty. That's exactly what we're trying to do with our people. So what can we learn from consumer organizations that could be applied in an HR environment to ensure that we get greater cut-through, greater impact, greater relevance? So much of what we do in HR is not based around how human beings think, feel, behave, or intrinsically motivated, how they communicate with one another. We design HR processes to compensate for poor managers, to compensate for poor leaders. If we think about reward, on a human level, what makes us feel good about our organization are rewards that surprise and delight, that are timely, that are given to us in a way that's personalized. So we're seeing this human beginning to creep back into HR, thank goodness. It's also about how we learn. We know that if we go on a formal training program, 80% of what we will learn or have learned on that program will have been forgotten in 30 days. The human brain just works that way. So we're seeing a move to micro-learning, just-in-time learning, self-managed learning. Lots and lots of companies beginning to reject this formal approach. The role of HR in L&D being much more a curator of learning resources rather than a producer of training programs based on around what the leadership team said they needed 12 months earlier. So we are seeing a real move now, a real shift in performance management, bringing back the human. We're seeing employees owning their own objectives. Some of you I know have picked up a box of conversation cards that we've produced just to help line managers and team members begin to kickstart that conversation because they don't know how to do it. Just simple conversation starters, frequent check-ins, a recognition that actually performance improvement doesn't come from one big chunky performance conversation at the end of the year. Human beings can only change one behavior at a time, and that's if we get the feedback and have the conversation at the time where the performance is evidenced and we get it on a regular basis. I think we're at our third stage. We're about, working with our people, working with our leaders, but we are also about creating the conditions in which our people can be more innovative, more agile, more collaborative, more productive. We are about creating the conditions where our people can thrive in a disrupted world. But for now, thank you so much for listening. Thank you. Thank you very much.